Alright, what's up, fellas? Thought I'd do a real quick update video on my EDC as a security guard. Um, I've done update videos on my walking stick collection, and I had just remembered that I had did a video on my what I carry as an unarmed guard. So at the moment, I am I'm getting a 10-hour shift at a place that unfortunately does not allow weapons. For the record, I mean, I'm not a weapon nut, contrary to popular belief. Not all Texans are, gun fanatics. There are some places where they won't allow it, even if you are certified to carry a firearm on duty. They simply will not allow it for whatever reason. I happen to work at a post where it is legal to carry a firearm, but their personal policy is no weapons. But that's fine. I mean, the client has the right to make those kinds of decisions. But at least they do allow me to wear my unarmed EDC, which is at least, I'm minimally equipped, I guess, to deal with someone who might cause trouble out there. So everything is pretty much the same on here. All of the attachments from my last video, all of the items I carry have pretty much not changed. Belt is still an Uncle Mike's. It's actually pretty rigid. It's still pretty stiff, I guess. It hasn't gotten soft or anything like that. I thought that after a while I'd break it in, but it's still actually pretty rigid. But I guess you could say that that's kind of a good thing. So one key thing that I hadn't shown in my previous video that I definitely do want to show is right now I'm carrying my unarmed EDC, but the more stuff you carry on your belt, the more weight it's going to carry. You're definitely going to want to get what are known as belt keepers, which are just these little things right here. These attach your trouser belt to your duty belt. If you're running or you have to climb a fence or something like that, and these are not on there, I mean, it could slide off, it could come off, I mean, anything could happen. So I definitely would suggest that you invest in belt keepers. And in terms of arrangement, that would just depend on how you arrange your own equipment. I can't really tell you that. I can just show you how I put mine based on what I carry. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to get this started. Uncle Mike belt, it's great. That's why I was suggesting these keepers. So when it comes off, these hold them into place, for when you got to go to the bathroom, stuff like that. Starting here, we got the same glove pouch. It's Bianchi. I carry 2 sets of vinyl gloves, not latex. It cuts too easily. I have, in fact, already dealt with people who have thrown up on themselves, who have pissed themselves, who have, they're drooling at the mouth for whatever reason, stuff like that. And, of course, if you're dealing with an injured person, you obviously don't want to be touching their blood, anything like that. So this is definitely, I initially thought this was kind of a waste of belt space, but as it turns out, you are going to need these. So I definitely would recommend carrying one if you work private security or law enforcement, corrections, whatever the case may be. So right here we got another belt keeper. And we got my Victorinox Swiss Champ. It's my multi-tool, and it also serves as a first aid. As a first aid kit, it's, pliers, tweezers, things like that. And I still carry Band-Aids in this holster. The case itself is leather. I prefer nylon, but this is the only one that can be put on this belt. The others have belt loops that are not wide enough to go on a duty belt, so I have to use this. It's a slide on. It's a clip-on deal. I do it, but right now it's got the hard side of Velcro, and for me to take it on and off would mess up the clip. I have to use one of those. Hold on, I don't know what it's called, but when you buy Bianchi attachments, they come with this deal. It helps you take things on and off your belt without ruining it with the Velcro. So moving to my back, I got 2 sets of cuffs. I always carry these on duty in case, heaven forbid, I have to deal with someone who's a danger to themselves or others. They are ASP handcuffs. The cases themselves, just a side note, if you guys are going to use these, because these are very good cuffs, you have to get cuff cases from the same company. Cuff cases that hold regular handcuffs, like H&K, Smith & Wesson, stuff like that, are not going to hold these properly. These are a little too bulky. They're lighter, but they're bulkier. It's plastic. They've got keyholes on both sides if you need to, because when you struggle with someone and you may have to adjust the cuffs, it helps from, that awkward moment where you have to take it off and reverse it, anything like that. Usually I was taught by my instructor that the keyhole always goes up, but like I said, just if you're struggling with someone, you're not really going to be thinking about that at that moment. So it helps that there are keyholes on both sides. And one interesting thing about this keyhole is most cuffs come with a lock for, if you need to lock the cuffs. And you can also adjust, in case you have to adjust these cuffs too. There's always kind of like that awkward moment of having to go back and forth from, I locked it, I got to adjust them. So then you got to loosen it, and then you got to lock it again. And, when your adrenaline is pumping, it looks simple that I'm doing it on camera right now, but when your adrenaline is pumping, your fine motor skills kind of, get shot to shit. So with that in mind, one good thing about this keyhole is you can lock it and you can undo the cuffs without having to go back and forth. And that's something I really like about these, because, it does happen, people want to screw around, and then when you, once the cuffs come out, wah, these cuffs are too tight, can you please loosen them, yada, yada, yada. So, to be fair, you do kind of, especially if they've got big wrists, stuff like that, you don't want to hurt them trying to detain them, You put yourself at risk for liability and stuff like that, even if it's a righteous hook. So, moving to my left side, I got my Bianchi key holder, real effective. I've seen some of the old school ones where it's just like a padded thing that the keys rest against, but if you run, or if if maybe you need to be stealthy, when you're running, if a criminal hears that, it's going to give them the heads up, and if you're in a situation where you have to be hidden, those jingling keys may just, end up doing you in. So, here we go. So obviously, that makes a difference. Got my ATAC, it's a 5.11 ATAC A2 flashlight. I think the only drawback about this flashlight is the clip. I've had to actually undo this and basically rebend the clip a few times, because if you sit in the wrong direction, or if you sit on a chair and this pushes up, if you push this flashlight while it's on here, and like something like that happens, it'll pretty much bend the clip out of place, and that's not a fun thing to deal with, especially if you're on duty. I know I may very well, it's not like a gripe, but it is kind of a concern. I may very well end up switching to a regular, pouch for flashlights. I initially got this because I like the clip-on, because when you just clip it on like that, you can just grab it in one fluid motion. You don't have to be fumbling with a pouch with Velcro or a button, whatever. But that may actually be a little bit better in the long run. So, a real good flashlight. And I also have the belt keepers help. I put them at my, let's see, okay, my 11, my 1, my 3, my 9, and at my 5, between my 5 and 7, I have a, make sure that I'm in the right position here. I have 2 keepers on both sides of the cuff case, just to keep them from, you know, moving around too much, stuff like that. Just, you know, because if you, this is just to give you an example. If you don't have, if you just put the cuffs there, you know, if you're struggling with someone or something like that, you're, you know, it's liable to slide around and, you know, when you're struggling with someone, you know, seconds count, you know. And obviously the last thing you want to do is be slowed down by a cuff case that's moving around all over your waist. So there you have it. That's my unarmed EDC. It's been good to me so far, and with the exception of a small concern regarding my flashlight, I got no complaints about it. And I guess that's just about it. So peace out for now, fellas.